welcome to today's session. My name is Milan Sangani, and I am the founder and CEO of Admission. We are an online study abroad platform based out of right here in Ottawa. And I'm very much excited today for this session because this is a session for the program where I am graduated from. So very much excited to see the familiar faces right here. Today with us is the administration from the Technology Innovation Management Program at Carleton University, Dan Pramachuk. We also have Kelly Fallon with us from the administration of the Technology Innovation Management Department. Dan will be with you guys soon. I'm going to go with a couple of housekeeping things here, and we will start soon. Before we move forward, if you're a student or a education consultant, I'm just going to give you a little bit information that how application at the admission works. Basically, you are going to register on our platform admission.io, where you can apply for the individual program, one of the 5 programs that we are going to discuss today. If everything is all right, all the documents and everything is spot on, you will be getting the login credentials within 24 hours, where you can track the entire application on the student portal from the Carleton University. Once you get the final offer letter, then you can simply apply for the visa process as well. If you are an international student or education consultant outside Canada, one of the most important financial resources that I want to mention here is Empower Financing, because all the programs that we are going to discuss today is under eligibility criteria of Empower. So student can actually apply for the education loan if they are looking for under Empower. If you need more information about how the education process at Empower works, you can simply reach out to me or directly can go on Empower Financing's website. A little bit housekeeping things here. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us which city you are from, and keep the conversation going on in the chat. If you have any questions, please also ask in the chat, and at the end of the presentation, we will be taking the questions and we'll be answering whatever the questions that you might have. Don't forget to share this session on social media. If you are on Instagram, if you're on LinkedIn, please share this session, take a screenshot and share on the social media and tag us admission.io. And at the end of the webinar, we will be taking the questions from you guys. This is my contact information. In case you need anything, you can simply reach out to me through email, and I will be readily available for you guys if you guys have any further questions after this webinar. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over this to Dan Pramachuk, the administrator at the Technology Innovation Management Department. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Pramachuk.
Thank you very much, Milan. So let me share my screen here. Make sure it's all visible. We see that okay? Yes, everything looks good. Let's make sure it actually advances for me. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Milan. And like he said, Admission and Milan is a graduate, so he's a TIM alumni from the Technology Innovation Management Program here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm very honored to be here and to be part of this webinar today to talk about TIM, the TIM program, and all we have to offer and all what it is about. So on the call, obviously, Milan already introduced himself, TIM alumni, and he has a wonderful company that he started while being in the TIM program, Admission. I'm Dan Pramachuk, so I'm the main TIM program administrator and I oversee the entire program from admissions to our projects to everything that we do within the business community. On the call today is also Kelly Phelan. She is our admissions coordinator and is in touch with a lot of our prospective applicants through just general inquiries, but also heavily takes care of our admissions process when the admissions come to us. So kind of the agenda of just this webinar, I'm just going to do a welcome, talk about TIM, details about the program. We'll talk about fees, talk about applications, the documents, the things that you need, all the things that come into applying and of interest to the program. I want to highlight some of the projects that we do, kind of really part of the essence of a degree in the TIM program as well. We'll talk about some additional resources, and then we can open it up to the Q&A part that Milan already talked about. So the Technology Innovation Management Program, we have always prided ourselves on navigating the new. The program was started over 30 years ago, and so when we say TIM, of course, I also mean that's what it stands for, is Technology Innovation Management. We're always looking to move the needle, be ahead of the new technology, the new innovation, we're usually on the pulse of it as well. So what we do at TIM is we develop the attitude, the knowledge, the skills that are needed to change and create wealth. And we do this by embracing the art and science of new things, hence why I say we navigate the new. And this picture on the right is actually where our home is on Carleton University's campus. This is the Nickel building, and we're located on the 5th floor. And it's a beautiful campus and a beautiful building. So I want to welcome you all, and welcome to also, when you apply and you are in the TIM program, you become part of this very large community that we have, and I'll explain more about what that community looks like as we go through the talk today. So as I already stated, we develop the attitude, the knowledge, and those skills, and we do this by embracing those new things. We are an internationally recognized program, and what we do is we equip and inspire entrepreneurs or tech innovation leaders. If you want to create new wealth, you want to start a venture, you want to grow either first yourself, and the reason for maybe applying to the TIM program or taking an interest in the TIM program is because you're looking at that point where you're looking to upskill or upgrade yourselves from either the industry experience that you have. Maybe it's to assist you in raising up with the current employer that you're with, or you're looking for that new employee opportunity, that new job opportunity at a future company or a company yourself that you might be starting. You benefit a wide range of professionals, as it's stated, like I said, so we have ventures or startups and founders. A lot of our students come from engineering, business, and science background. We're very diverse students. Usually we are representing around 43 to 45 different countries in the TIM program at any given time. We have roughly around 200 TIM students with us who are active and registered, and we have over 900 TIM alumni all across the world who are still very much keeping in touch and being part of this strong community that we have. So again, this program is for you if you're looking to build your credentials, looking to upskill yourself, we emphasize hands-on learning with research. So we do experiential learning all the time as well with the new innovation, the new technology, but we're engaging real challenges, real innovation challenges that companies have, that the world is seeing, and we're helping solve those with research. These are the 5 master's programs that I have to offer and that we have in the TIM program. So we have entrepreneurship, digital transformation and entrepreneurship is called, applied business analytics. We have a master of technology. Before I say the last, those first 4 are our project pathways or project degrees. So you'll be having a research project component that you do at the end of that degree. Whereas the Master of Science that's on the bottom, it is a thesis based degree. So it's not a project, but obviously traditional research in order to meet the requirements of that degree. But what I want to put the emphasis on is that all of them are masters in technology innovation management. So whether you're doing a master's of entrepreneurship, for example, you're getting and completing a master's of entrepreneurship in technology innovation management. So these are the key words, but they're the key drivers behind what your degree is going to be. Like our graduates do come in, you upskill yourself and you return to the workforce to prepare to make an impact. Whether you're driving innovation, new innovation within a new team, a new company, or you're advancing your own venture. All these pathways explore technologies like AI, prompt engineering, but you're developing competitive strategies to address these challenges, these innovation challenges that we see in industry throughout the world. But we do it practically, we do it through practical. So this is a unique opportunity to level up. And we kind of use this figure a lot through the journey if you are coming into the TIM program. Basically, you're maybe at a point that you're thinking like, this is the old you because you're looking to do a master's somewhere. So maybe it's the TIM program, but you come in ready to upskill yourself, ready to do a TIM degree, but you leave after that, and that what that looks like with the CAPE, you're basically superpowered. It is a future you, but you get to decide what that future you looks like, right? You're at that point where you come into the program, you learn all this new knowledge, these new skills, you develop these critical thinking skills and build on them and build on them, and then you're this new superpowered you that you are back out into the future, back out into industry and ready to take on the world, essentially. So it's the future you, and this is what you're going to see at the end. Just like the other figure, you have this cape, and now you're ready to go back out there and make a difference in once your own with your own lives, but also in the companies that you work for. So a reminder: an investment in your future is like no other, right? You're enhancing your mindset, your knowledge, and your skills. The driver, though, is just know that the TIM program, we thrive off of research. We thrive off of doing research to address these innovation challenges using the latest tech, but we always lean on readings, the research that we do, and the projects that we do in order to solve those issues. So if you like reading, please do, because we value that. It's basically, yes, historical reading, but it's most latest research that is happening around the world that we thrive on and that we use in order to solve the challenges. So what you can do with a TIM degree: you can advance your career without leaving your job. And the reason I say that, and it's actually the third point down here, is modeled off of a weekday evening class structure. So we have that 9 to 5 window where everyone's technically or used to be doing business. So every businessman and businesswoman would be able to work, during the day, and then you'd be able to take classes in the evening. Our program can be done in as little as 16 months. You can have up to 2 years to do it, but you can do it in as short as 16 months, no less than that. Again, like I said, it follows this weekday evening, 6 to 9 in the evening class structure, timetable. And we usually require 2 years of professional work experience required to get into the program. So we're not directly from a BA into a master's degree programs, but we have, you finish your degree, you've been out there, you've been working, and now you're ready to do that next step, come back to academia, do a master's, and then thrive again with that's that CAPE visual. You're back out and taking on the world there. But you need a minimum of 2 years being out there in industry. Why you should choose TIM? Flexible pathways for really anyone, but for entrepreneurs and innovators. We're industry-driven learning. Like I said before, real-world applications. We thrive on the practical real-world applications that we get to do with the tech and the projects that we do. And you have access to the community, mentors, advisors, and funding opportunities as well for the international side, like Milan stated at the beginning there. So admissions. So we have 2 application deadlines. If you're looking at maybe a winter 2026 or just winter in general, we have deadlines of August 1st. That December 1st is for the domestics that's on the slide, but it's August 1st for internationals. It's March 1st for a fall intake for everybody. Our process, and I have another slide for that, but you have an online application, a resume, statement of intent, and references are things that we need. This is on top of that 2 years of minimum of 2 years experience that you need to come into the TIM program. And of course, like I said, the funding opportunities vary. Here's a little checklist for yourself though. Things to happen for an application. You need your transcripts, you need a passport, your resume, so your up to most latest CV, have that updated. Your transcripts, your certificates as well. You can display your degree certificates. A statement of intent is really important to the TIM program. That's really our driver as well. It's where you tell us not only about what you've done and why you're at the point that you're at, but really what you want to do and what you're passionate about. So we thrive on, like I said, the new thing, the technology in the TIM program. So if that things that excite you, if AI excites you, and any aspect of AI, or just that type of technology innovation in a business sense, then it's definitely the right program. But you want to express that. So make sure that your statement of intent really truly states that what you want to do afterwards. You've come to the TIM program. I want to do this degree because of this, but it's really because after I'm done with that degree, I want to do X, Y, Z, whatever that may be. Okay, but really just tell us that. We read them all. We go through all the applications, and that statement of intent I just want to drive is really important. As much as it is references, so depending on when you finished your BA or finished a master's, we do have students who come in and they're on their second master's. It's just everyone's at a different point in their lives, and that's just the nature of it. But if you have one that you can do an academic reference, great. We'd just like to see the reference side of that you've completed and how well you've completed on an academic level, and maybe an employer reference as well. That's why I have that if possible, but 2 references is where we look for. As well, you need to complete an English literacy proficiency test if it's applicable, depending on, they do have the link down there. We can add this in the chat later or share it later on in the email as well. But there are different language tests you can take that we at the Carleton University accepts for international students who need to have this as part of their application. Some other admission requirements. So 4-year honors bachelor's degree. And typically we look for a B+ or better in your major subject, depending on what you did in your degree for your BA, or a B- or better overall. It's just some of the things that we use for making our admissions decisions. I included this link and I'll share it in the chat. It is particularly to country as well. So Carleton University has a great section pertaining to every country that have accepted into Carleton, and there are different admission requirements because obviously different degrees, different countries, the way that they're expressed or written. It's really good to check this link ahead of time as well when you're making decisions or having that thought process of, is it something that I meet the requirements for? So like it says here, obviously applicants who receive degrees from outside Canada will have their backgrounds assessed properly. This just adds to making sure you check based on your country what the requirements will be for the degrees that we accept. Oh, got little arrows. Tuition fees. So this kind of is a breakdown of both domestic and international. What you can see, estimated numbers are total, and then what it would look like maybe per term there for an international. So these are estimated numbers. Tuition fees do go up based on the government of Canada every year. There's a range of percentage that they go up, so it's really hard to dictate what that's going to look like in the increase. But we have a great department here on campus if you're ever interested, and they're able to at least give you more of a really stronger estimate, but what that would look like depending on when you're asking, of course. But this is kind of what our estimates are for the TIM program. So the 60,000 on international is for the entire program, and that's where there's the footnote there, the 15 estimated per thousand per term. What I do want to say, and I said at the beginning, we have a very strong community. I'm going to guess there's arrows here. Yeah, okay. So there's a collaborative ecosystem. We have a very strong TIM community. Yes, it's made of the faculty, students, the staff, us, but we have a lot of connections with our industry leaders, the business leaders who are here, the companies, and we really thrive and keep those partnerships and collaborations strong. So we have access to the innovation hub that's here. It's actually that picture I showed you of the Nickel building where we live there. It's on the main floor of that. Wonderful place for startups, for a lot of different programs for building a business, building an idea, and growing it from there. We harness that in the TIM program, but we obviously lean on our partnerships with like the Innovation Hub to assist us because they have some really interesting, unique programs as well. We're very close to the Kinetic North, which is the largest tech park in Canada. It's here, very close. It's essentially in Ottawa as well. We're located, but it's like a small section of Ottawa, so it's not too far away. And we try to get out there as much as possible. As much as we're near the Ottawa Board of Trade, very close to the government of Canada, so a lot of those businesses and a lot of those industry leaders are very close, as well as the rest of the business community. We host a lot of entrepreneurial events and just events in general, events, workshops. We create networking opportunities, or at least send students to networking opportunities as well. it could be current students, it could be alumni. We try to bring all of those factors together. So we don't have a direct co-op program linked to the TIM program. So like some other degrees, you may be able to do certain parts of the program, go off on co-op where you're actually working in with a company. We don't have that component and never had in the TIM program. But what we do have is the projects, which I will talk about, and then these opportunities like I'm talking about now, where we get you in front of industry, you start building out your own network, and you start having those conversations. And we've had such success with that model that has led to many students getting jobs with many different size small medium enterprises, but a lot of big industry and companies here in Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, which are also cities that are close to us as well. And we have a strong mentorship program, which we're really working on actually. So I've added it here because we have a mix of current students and alumni. It's our TIM Ambassadors program. So we're working on a mentorship piece, but we really have the ambassadors who are driving the, what the TIM community really looks like, and trying to keep that strong through the content that we create and the way the content we have on our website. So there'll be a lot more information about that soon as well. And how to be in touch with them when you have questions. This is just a photo to show that this is the community that you can be a part of. This is the recent photo from May 1st that we had our TIM Showcase, which is an annual showcase that we display our projects. We invite faculty, students, staff, and industry leaders to come together. We had about 240 of them in this space. We had employers. We had a career fair style where employers were actually actively looking to hire. So our students who were on their way out, who were recently graduated, we invited them back, who were just graduated maybe and are still looking for work, we invited them back. And they came, they got to meet those employers who are hiring, who have positions, but also, so we had 14 of those companies there, but we also had other CEOs, talent acquisition people, just who wanted to attend and be in the room and be a part of the community. So this is one of those events and those instances where we create and try to get everybody in a room and just create a big room of collaboration and innovation. So it's such a wonderful event, and one of our best yet. So it's in TIM. We have the talent to drive change. You are the talent as well if you're interested in the TIM program to come help us and you create change both while you're in the program and for yourselves. And what we do is we help companies. So as much as you're getting a degree in technology innovation management, we help companies, and this is leading into the TIM project stuff. So we address those challenges, like I said early on, and we're looking to help those companies achieve new levels of success. TIM projects, what are they? So those 4 pathways that I stated, which are entrepreneurship, digital transformation, applied business analytics, and master of technology, are my project pathways or degrees. We kind of use those terms interchangeably. We focus on the new things. We help them solve these problems for companies. And these are actual companies. Most of them are within the Ottawa area, but we work with Toronto companies, Montreal companies, international companies. It's not limited to just here, but we help them solve those innovation challenges. So we have real clients, and that's where like that networking piece I was talking about. We're not having a co-op. We connect you with those individuals at those companies, and those projects come directly from the industry. So they're going to come with us with a problem. We're going to formulate, talk about it, figure out the objectives, work through the research of how to address, and obviously at the end of that come and give out some takeaways and things that company can now implement, like we'll formulate and then they can implement into their company depending on, of course, what the project is. But what we do in those, it covers a range of different issues that require that research and applied technologies, and that's obviously, hence to our name, Technology Innovation Management. We're trying to always innovate ourselves, be on the precipice of what the technology may be ahead, but we are always on the pulse and we're never behind in that sense, especially at Carleton too, and throughout Carleton's entire campus, we are the ones who are driving that innovation. So to give you an idea of those 4 pathways, we do 130, 140 of those projects a year. These are just some of the common themes right now that we are seeing. And where do we get these themes? We get them from industry. So industry are the ones through our conversations with them. They tell us what they want, what they need, what their pain points are. And we get these themes and then work on them throughout our project. So of course, AI is topic of mind. So if you're someone who has not even touched AI, but you're interested in it, the TIM program is still the place to be because we are the ones doing it and using it. Okay, if there's a new thing that comes out and we see the value in it, whether it be ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, Gemini, any sort of AI tools, we use Futurepedia.io if you've never heard of it, and there's anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 AI tools in there, and we have all of these access to it for our students to use, to learn, to grow, and we incorporate those things in our courses, in our min cycles as well. Kelly and I use them, and then the faculty, of course, comes directly from them. So anything like that comes right from the faculty who are at the forefront of it. We're always those deep researchers who never stop reading. So like I said earlier, if you like to read, or you might need to start like reading a little bit more because they're always on top of things. This is where these themes come from in AI or machine learning, but we still do projects that address those business issues that may have market strategy or just some sort of digital transformation piece, stakeholder engagement, social and ethical impact, and of course ventures, whether it be startups that are outside the TIM program or us starting ventures inside the TIM program, because we have a lot of success there too. Milan's one of them as well, and he's here. So quickly, just going to jump through some slides so you can see some of the companies that we work for. Some of them on here are small, medium-sized enterprises. Some of them, like Ross Video, are bigger ones. One I would like to highlight as well is My Afromania is another company that was grown out of the TIM program. They have a shop now here. It's African Dressings. She just put on a wonderful event. Her name's Chica this past weekend, this past Saturday. And we just are always wanting to support the companies what we work with, but always the companies that we create. So I'll just jump through some of these slides. So these are some of the companies you can see. These are a lot of the ones who support us and who were at our event this past May 1st. Solink, for example, is one of the fastest growing companies. One of them, of course, in Ottawa right now, and they're just growing and growing and growing. Interesting tech space. Nokia, we do a lot with them as well. And some others here. Admission, of course. BlackBerry and QNX, RBC, and a lot of other ones. Oh, I forgot I had a third one here. Of course, with the city of Ottawa too. And so what I want to leave on this one is this is the picture of the Canada Tech Park. There's many pictures. This is just the one that I captured from their website. And so we are so close to that. We, this past term, have done, I want to say 12 workshops, I think, total in different, 12 workshops total out in that space with students, faculty, staff, and the industry from these companies there, learning about the tech that we're using. So it's like when I say we get you in front of those innovation leaders, it's not just to have like a one-on-one conversation like I'm so-and-so. It is also, we do workshops to show the tech that we're using that may either be super interesting to them, it's a workshop that is also, hey, you can use this in your business or we think you should. This is what the research or the academic side, what we're doing, and we think it would be very valuable for your business. So this is the picture, one of many pictures of the tech park. We're very close to, but we're so close to downtown and the government and a lot of businesses. We're kind of really in an interesting hub. This is just touch on for international students. So ISSO, they're being branded to Go ISSO now, which is Global Opportunities and International Student Services. They're just a wonderful contact. And I know Milan can speak more to that too, just in the fact that, any sort of questions to do as an international student applying to the TIM program, from study permits, postgraduate work permits, arrival, before you arrive, when you arrive, all those types of things. They cover everything and have so many events and workshops of their own to give out this information. So they have a wonderful newsletter and they're a really great resource. I'm kind of just going to leave it, and I hope I covered everything, but I will leave that open to questions. I'm leaving it with just this picture of Carleton. This is a picture probably just on the beginning of fall because these leaves are changing on the side here. But this is just one picture of the canal, which is the largest in the world. And it's also just where we are, how close we are to that body of water, which is amazing. But we have a beautiful, beautiful campus, and we really hope that the TIM program, or at least Carleton, is something of interest to you. And I'm going to leave it at that. And if we have questions, we'll leave it open to it. So thank you very much for having me.
Hi everyone. Before we just jump into the Q&A session, I see Eduardo Blady is here. He is one of the professors right here in the team program, and I would like to request Eduardo. I'm sorry to just throw you on the fence here, but if you would like to have two words about the team program, that would be more than fantastic.
Okay, just give me one moment here. I am working from home, so not entirely camera ready, but I'll do my best here. Hello, everyone from all over the world. My name is Eduardo, and I am not only a professor from Carleton University, but I'm also a graduate. Sorry, from the TIM program at Carleton University, but I'm also a graduate. I attended TIM in 2017, and it really did transform my life. So the slides that Dan showed you about earning your cape, that is a really profound thing that I think that, people hear it and that's truly the purpose of higher education, your outcome. So, one of the things that came to my mind while I was listening to Dan with that excellent talk about what TIM is. Why shouldn't you come to TIM? Something that nobody would ever tell you in a recruiting video, right? Like, why is it that you should not come? And I think that the number one thing why you should not come is if you're not ready for that transformation. There are students who come and they don't realize that they're ready for it. And then they get here and they go through a little bit of difficulty. But then the transformation that they experience from showing up, not knowing what they want out of life, and then gaining tremendous amount of knowledge, skills, and a whole new mindset about how they're going to take on the world, how they're going to talk about themselves and what makes them special, why they are value creators in this world. And with new knowledge about how to use artificial intelligence and advanced technologies, it really does change people. And we see them advancing into all those companies that Dan was showing you as well. So I guess the number one reason why I would not come is if I'm not willing to change. I have a mindset and I don't want, I'm from, well, we've got Ghana, Nigeria, India. I'm from wherever I'm from, and I do not want to change. I don't want to grow into a new version of myself that I can't yet define for myself. That would probably be the number one reason why I wouldn't come. But if you are in a position right now where you know that there's a ceiling, you know that you are plateauing. You're sort of flattening out in terms of your career trajectory. And you're looking for a boost. You're looking to transform into somebody that you never thought you could actually become, or you always hoped you could become. I really do believe that the TIM program is a gateway for you to be able to get that type of transformation. And I'm living proof. I went from somebody who was tinkering around in industry and then I came to the TIM program and I haven't left. Um, so I went from a graduate. I traveled to, because of my studies, I traveled to Nigeria, I traveled to India. I was teaching in incubators about what my research. And then, then I got the opportunity to start teaching at the university, and that has continued to spiral upwards. And now I'm faculty member for 3 years. So um, uh, it's been a nice path for me, and I think that this is a conduit or a pathway for you as well. So yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody has, but that's my 2 cents for you. It's a pleasure to have all of you here.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. That was really fantastic. And personally, I was one of your students, so I know that story very well as well. Thank you very much for sharing with these guys as well.
Pleasure.
So let's get into the Q&A right away. I know we have one question here that somebody asked, can someone from non-technology bachelor's background but have 3 years of work experience as a cloud solution architect apply for team programs digital transformation program?
Yes. I would say that is the short answer. So definitely, we do have, if your bachelor's is not a non-technology bachelor's, but you have that, you finish your bachelor's like we talked about, and you've gone and done your industry experience, but you kind of branch, right? It's kind of what you're doing now. Maybe I'm thinking about doing a master's. You've already kind of done something where you're wanting to, whatever what I was talking about, you're ready for change. You've changed yourself already, and maybe it's the sector that you were working in, now you're looking into the tech sector, transitioning to that sector. Definitely. And the digital transformation is probably a good program for that too. So it really depends, of course, what bachelor's you completed, but you can still apply to the TIM program with a non-technology BA. Yes.
And I would just like to also add something on the top of that, how digital transformation looks like after your graduation. So I myself was coming from a non-tech background, even non-business background as well. My master's was in chemistry with the specialization of medicinal chemistry, and I chose to move away from the non-technical background to technical one, did my entrepreneurship program from Carleton. And now every day I'm playing with technology. I built my product on the base of technology as well. We have up and live the online platform where you can actually go through us and take help to apply from the for the team program as well. So this is how it's look like even if you are coming from the non. The one of the most important thing that I also would like to mention is how team program in Sports School of Business helps to the entrepreneurs in terms of when it comes to funding. So there is something called Nicole Entrepreneurship funding that the team program and Sports School of Business that have. If you have a fantastic idea, if you want to build your world-class startup, so you can apply for the Nicole Entrepreneurship Program, Nicole Internship Program. Thank you very much, Eduardo, for mentioning that. Nicole Internship Program, and you can be eligible for a certain amount of funding to build your prototype or minimum version of the technology that you want to build on. Apart from that, we have fantastic community right here in Ottawa that can help you in the incorporation of your company, can help you for the legal side and all those aspects of the business that you might need in order to move forward and build your startup in the new country. So all the resources are available right here at the team program. Any other questions that you people have? Please post your questions in the chat. So we will be taking, I believe, 10 more minutes if you guys have any questions. If you have questions related to eligibility criteria, admission criteria, or anything. The people who are actually attending the sessions from Nigeria and Ghana, just a small information related to eligibility criteria is the applicants from Nigeria and Ghana needs the second class upper division in order to get the admission for the minimum eligibility criteria for the team programs admission. So 4 years bachelor's degree and a second class upper division from Nigeria and Ghana. For India, it's a first class. So in India, education system is a little bit different university to university, but overall, on an average first class that we need for the team program.
Milind, what I was going to say, waiting for questions, some people may be typing them or thinking about what to ask. One of the things that maybe we have to talk about beyond the Tim showcase that Dan was mentioning, that I love that photo, but that was an excellent day. Right after that, the next week we hosted another event that was focused on quantum technologies. I'm actually editing the video right now. That's a recording of that day, and it really, it really exemplifies the fact that the TIM program is at the edge of technology adoption. And while there are engineering and science programs that are discussing how to build the new technologies, the TIM program does a fantastic job at keeping track of those new technologies and understanding how they integrate into society, into industry, and how humans interact with and adopt these technologies. And whether you want to create a new company or you want to be somebody who's highly paid in an industry, um, this is an excellent mindset to have. And I don't know how much everyone here has in terms of a clear understanding of where the world is going, but we're in a massive period of change. And the skill set, the mindset that you need to have a successful career is shifting. And I was listening to somebody the other day. They were basically saying that our grandparents had careers that lasted an entire life. Our parents maybe had one and a half, maybe one to two careers in their time, like, professions in their career. And what we're looking at moving forward is that you're going to have a new career every like 3 years, 2, 3 years. So you have to be adaptable and you have to be resilient. You have to understand the world from a new set of eyes. And the program really does a good job at exposing you to new networks and to new thinking and to new technologies and how that's going to sweep the world as we move forward into towards 2030.
Perfect. Thank you very much again, Eduardo, for this. But one of the really interesting question here that we are receiving, that is there a hybrid program that allows them to be on campus and do others online? Do you want to take this question, Dan or Eduardo?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So the TIM program is in a hybrid modality. It's not directly completed online in the sense that you have an in-person section that you would apply through the program. So for example, let's say Master of Entrepreneurship, I'm going to be an in-person, so I apply through the in-person. I'm going to do it online, I'm going to apply through online. So we have more of a hybrid sense of that. So all of our courses, like I stated, are in the evenings. They are typically recorded, and you can attend even virtually at the same time as the course is happening if you had to be. We'd much rather you be here in person, of course, so that's why we don't have a complete separation of I can do it online that way. It is intended to be in person because of the work that you do, the group work, the networking you have, well, obviously why you're here and those opportunities that we do put forth in front of our TIM students. So it is hybrid to make it a long answer to your question, but it is in a hybrid way, yes.
Then you also want to mention, do you also want to mention about the evening classes that is compatible for the part-time job thing?
The part-time what, sorry?
The part-time job or
Yeah,
the people who are actually
working.
having their
Yeah, so as I stated earlier when I talked about that and mentioned, we do is built this way and the TIM program has thrived off of that. And we have been able to sustain this evening classes for over 30 years. Now we've only got to the point right now that maybe one course has kind of crept up a little bit in an earlier like 2:30 to 5:30 time slot. And that's just the nature of the timetabling that I have to do. But you're able to, right, that 9 to 5 mentality, you're able to work, maybe, depending on if you're here with family, so you can attend, do the things you need to during the day. Hopefully also you're doing your studies, you're researching as well, but then you have class in the evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. So there is that flexibility as well as there is a hybrid modality, there's flexibility with how we deliver our courses.
It's also helpful for people to stay healthy. Our hybrid modality was definitely to accommodate our professionals. The program was designed for professionals, people who were already in executive roles, director roles, and that sort of thing. And they were coming to upskill so that they could learn how to do new things. And that sort of culture of building a program for professionals never left. And so that's why we have the 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock for the majority of the courses that students will take. But since the pandemic, the other thing that we've realized is, well, two things. One is that we don't want sick people in the classroom. So if you're sick, you get to stay home and you don't get to lose out on the learning experience. Where a lot of other programs will do, they'll make it, well, you have to be in class, otherwise you don't get a recording, you don't get anything else, and you can't participate. So that's number one. And the other is that we actually have a lot of mature students. Our graduates have, I don't know, an average of around 9 years of industry experience. I think the last time I did this, half of my students in the last 2 terms already had master's degrees. So you're dealing with a strong alumni network of people who are here to really make things happen. And some of them already have kids. So they are coming with their kids, and sometimes we have a single mother who's, left the husband back home, and she's here taking care of a kid and doing school. And sometimes the child needs to have some daycare, or there's nobody to take care of the young one while she's off at school. We've also had some of the mothers come to class with their kid, and I give them a coloring book, and they quietly sit in the back. But you do need to move to Canada. The intention is to move to Canada, I'm pretty sure, Dan, right? Like it's not that you can just take it from around the world, and
Correct.
you can't just do an online
Correct. And that's kind of
degree
what
or
I was
whatever.
trying to touch on. You can't just do
Yeah,
it straight online. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You'll have to relocate to Canada within the first 2 terms. Am I correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, if for some reason due to visa delays or whatever maybe the delay may be in the sense of you really rooting yourself here, there's a little bit of a leeway there that you can just continue to join in that hybrid space, but then that intention is still for you to be here. But 1 to 2 terms is probably what I would state.
And what are the work permissions that are attached to the study permit that the students receive?
So it's different, right? Milan might be best to speak to that point. It's in the sense of, because you're coming to either the study permit and the work portion. Usually, and he can correct me in a second if I'm not mistaken, there is a part on that permit, I think, that can state the work. Can you correct me, Milan? It's not
Yes.
stated directly like I can work, but there is a line item that it's part of the application that you also get on the paper when you get
Yeah,
it.
because there's exceptions from some.
Yeah,
The traditionally it was you can work full-time hours on campus and 20 hours off campus, and then some countries have had exceptions where they can work unlimited hours off campus. But that sort of depended on the country that you come from, and Milan would be the guy who has, and the policies change, right? So it's not a constant for us.
unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, if there is a co-op program, then while applying for the student visa, then you check that part that if your program has the internship or co-op, which is kind of a practical semester, which does not apply as of now for the team program. So even though yeah, you do not check that particular thing while applying for the student visa, you still have the same eligibility. If you are still working on campus, you can work still full time. I worked my first 2 semesters on campus, and I worked 40 hours a week. So first 2 semesters I was working full time while studying the team program. But off campus, it is limited. You can only work part time. So it's kind of the same and standard across all the universities, Canada.
And I will say any of those types of inquiries that you have that, if you go through Milan and you have questions about that, you can also still reach out to the International Student Service Office to get their wonderful immigration advising, but also just advisors overall. They can answer all those questions for you too.
Perfect. The next question that we here have, we just talked about the relocation to Canada. Uh, um, One of our attendees asking that that means they must relocate, not doing this in Nigeria. Do you process them getting a job while they study? So before then you jump onto this question, just would like to mention that definitely you have to move to Canada in order to start the program. So that is a part of the study visa process. Your study permit gets approved, you move to Canada and start your program here. And then would you like to address the question that do you process them getting a job while they study?
Well, I mean, we don't process you getting a job, but we send out opportunities that come into the office essentially. So whether it be on campus, so we have a lot more, or we're a lot in touch with those jobs that are available on campus, and we can point you in those opportunities and directions. And you'll find out, interesting enough, there are a lot of TIM students who are on campus still in certain departments, managing certain departments. So we have a lot of connection. That's why when we talked about how large the alumni community is, they're still here too, and still on campus in different capacities. But whether there's opportunities outside companies that we do projects with or something like that, we always send out those opportunities when we get them to our students. So we can help you in that sense. And obviously, if there's some sort of capacity, we can help guide you through a certain process. Career services on campus as well are fantastic as well, with those types of opportunities. So they're there, and we can obviously lead you to them, help you in any way we can. We don't process you getting a job, but we can definitely get you in touch with the right people, or help you in any way we can.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dan. One of the questions that we missed here, I see the people asking about the scholarship. Apart from the eligibility criteria, what are the scholarships available for the team program?
So it's hard with internationals, the funding that is available. So we don't have any direct like entry scholarships or bursaries that come off of our as part of our admissions process for internationals. It's mostly around the fact that the graduate studies at Carleton doesn't have excess amount of funding for those types of scholarships or bursaries. Um, so what we usually state is that we have a department of awards and financial aid office who also have a lot of opportunities there. So the best is we kind of do our best referrals, because if those opportunities are there, we want to get you in touch with the people who you can get the information from and do an application to put your best foot forward to get those types of scholarships or bursaries. So awards and financial aid office are fantastic to look at. Graduate Student Association as well here have opportunities for international students. What grade actually, and we'll tie in, sorry, because I'll think to remind me at the end. Sorry, so Graduate Student Service Association, or Graduate Studies as well. So those are kind of just the areas that we would try to refer you to. Back to the job though, there is now a new program that's only in their now third term on campus, which is specifically for international students. It's the International Student Employment Program, that they have opportunities with employers in the area. So employers come to them, say, I have a job opportunity. Yes, they want to hire international. Of course, it's not an issue. But this program is built for and to assist international students in finding work. So back to like, can I help you with the process? I actually can, but getting you in touch with those people and that program itself, that is a Carleton program, which is a branch out of the Career Services Department, and it's strictly for international students. So if you're studying full time, and registered in your courses, they have opportunities, and you can go through the process and find work, which will then happen during the day while you do your classes in the evening. So I think that it just light bulbed in my head.
Chi is asking here, do you assist students with the visa processes when they get admissions to your school? Chi, you definitely can reach out to me for that. My contact details are already given earlier. If you missed this, I'm typing my email here in the chat, and you can actually reach out to me for that anytime, and I will be more than happy to assist with you. Chi is asking another question. So what is the tuition fee range for a so then would you like to go to that slide for
Yeah,
a second one more time?
yeah. Sorry about the flipping for your eyes. It's not too far away from this, I know, because it was one of the things I talked about. Oh, it's a wonderful picture again. Oh, no, there we go. So, I mean, if you're talking about per term, if we're talking about an academic year, so an academic year, we're talking about September to December, January to April is an entire academic year at Carleton. So this 15,000 is per term. So you'd have September to December 15, and then January to April 15. So estimated would be 30. Again, just an estimate, but that's what you would be looking at for an academic year, and then you have the summer. The thing is, I mean, you can, like I said, you can complete the program in 16 months. That's the quickest, which in Carleton is about 4 terms. So if you came, let's say you're applying, you came into the fall term, you'd be able to register in the fall. The winter term, we do have summer courses, and then the next fall would be your last 4th term. Now this kind of changes. We talk about this more when we get into, when you're in the program, we talk about this more with the registration aspect when we're registering for courses, and so that's where that deciding on how you do your degree comes into play, but you can do it in what we call 4 terms at Carleton, which equals the 16 months.
Thank you very much, Dan. Mustaqim, I'm going to get your question as well. But before that, Uboho is asking, can we apply for master's program like MBA with admission? Uboho, right now, we are exclusively working with the team program and the 5 amazing pathways right now, but we will be adding the MBA programs gradually as well. But this is a really excellent question where I would again like to ask to give two sentence or in a brief explanation how the team program is different than a typical MBA. So Eduardo, would you like to spread a light on that, please?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. So someone is asking if they can apply for MBA program, and I just got this discussion we usually have that how team program is basically different from the typical MBA.
Uniqueness about TIM, the difference between TIM degree and an MBA degree.
Gosh, where do I start?
It is unique to start with the uniqueness.
Well, let me tell you, so an MBA is a management. You're gonna learn how to do business administration. So you're gonna learn how to manage an existing company. You're gonna learn a little bit about accounting and finance and so forth. The TIM program is more about how do you do new things? How do you create the companies or the initiatives inside of those businesses, or to create those actual companies for the MBAs to get hired later. So that's kind of point number 1, is that they worry about managing the stuff that already exists. We worry about the new things and how do you actually build it. It's a much more unique skill. Most MBAs are taught by either contract instructors or faculty that kind of slide in and slide out for different courses. And this is across no matter what university you go to. The TIM program is taught by professors who are dedicated to the TIM program. They're fully invested in it. And they're the ones that are going to be supervising you in your projects or your thesis that you're going to be taking. There are no projects in an MBA. They don't provide you the flexibility for you to shape your educational pathway the way that the TIM program does. You make the TIM program what it is for you. We're not going to tell you entirely what to do, because every single student that we have, all 200 of them or however many we have right now, they all have a different background. They all have different hopes and dreams. They all have different skill sets, and they're going to focus on something that's going to make each and every one of them distinct. The MBA program, any MBA program, will teach you the exact same thing that everybody else is going to learn. All you got to do is learn what the professor teaches you and repeat it back to them. The TIM program doesn't do that. We teach you, obviously, but what we do is we guide you so that you can learn how to harness new knowledge and apply it to create things. And that is very distinct from an MBA. Just in the mentality of what we think is valuable, you're welcome to learn how to do accounting, and we encourage you to know the numbers and all that, the basics of economics and all that sort of stuff. But we don't teach out of textbooks. We don't provide sort of a one size fits all for everybody, and we encourage everyone to earn their own cape, to develop their own distinctiveness. And so that would be the big difference between an MBA anywhere in the world and what the TIM program is doing for students today.
What I will say just to end of that, and it kind of complements it, is you're at this point in this transitional period that you want to do the thing that is unknown. You don't want to come and do the thing that you know. You're not going to come in to the program because you know everything. You're coming to learn and grow and shape, but we do the unknown, right? That's what we tackle.
The other thing too, Dan, is that I mean, if you're learning out of a textbook, think about this. If you're learning out of a textbook, you got a standardized course that's built on a textbook that was written 3 years ago on knowledge that was collected 5 years before that. Right? So you're dealing with knowledge that is almost a decade old in the age of AI.
Too old.
We've got emerging technologies, the generative AI. We've got new ways of organizing. We've got everything is changing so rapidly right now. We've got quantum technology on the verge of emergence. We're already organizing that here in Canada. And what are you going to learn out of a textbook that is going to provide you knowledge that how many MBAs are going to graduate every single term in the country? I mean, how many people? The only time that you're going to do an MBA is if you're just too lazy to do something interesting. Sorry, that may be a little bit harsh. The MBA is still a very good education, but I think that the thing that gets us excited at the TIM program is the fact that we're going to provide you new knowledge, the stuff that's came out the last 4 months, the stuff that is changing, and we're going to provide you a new perspective that allows you to be distinct in the market. So when you go in, if you want to create your own company, if you want to be a leader inside of a company, or if you want to go get a new job or a new career, when people are sitting in front of you and they say, "Why am I going to do business with you? Why you?" You're going to have an excellent answer for that question.
And if I can just add quickly, Milan, because I'm looking at applications all day long, we just have, just to echo a little bit what Eduardo mentioned, all of our applicants come from a varied background, so they collectively have so much to share with each other. It's incredible. And again, it's a testimony to, the Tim family, that has been created and is thriving. But yeah, the TIM program, the way it differs from a traditional MBA, we focus more on the practical application of technology in business. Like Eduardo said, creating new ventures. It's just a much broader spectrum. And obviously, as you've seen at the start of the webinar, the pathways that we can offer, there's more of a variety there for our applicants.
Thank you very much, Kelly and Eduardo, for amazing insights on, and especially how TIM program is different from MBA. We are already over time, but just want to mention two things that is already mentioned in the chat. The question is already answered in the chat. The 16 months equivalent to how many terms? That is for academic terms here in Canada. If you are studying, if you already are aware of the education system, one academic year is equal to 2 terms. In some countries, they call it semester. So it's 2 semesters. So one academic year is 2 semesters, 2 terms. And the total cost of the program cost that you are seeing right now is total 4 terms. And we have seen here that I have a BSc Masters in Public Administration in 2022. I want to apply for the master's program. We'll reach out to admission. Definitely, for sure. I've already mentioned my email in the chat. You're more than welcome to reach out to me. And if you have more questions, always you can reach out to me, milan@admission.io, and I will be more than happy to provide relevant information and help you out throughout the application. Thank you very much, Eduardo, once again. Thank you very much, Dan, Kelly, everyone. Thank you very much for joining today, and have a nice day or night or evening, wherever you are, guys.
Thank you, Milan. Thank you very much for setting this up. It's great to meet you all.